Hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. We're just going to kind of keep rolling these out today, because there's a lot to cover. Nice that there's a lot to cover this time around. This is a weekly reset again, and
Hey there.
what do we
Good to
have?
see you.
We have the release of new runes. We have the release of new runes, another set of 5, which seems to be the status quo as of late. With the new ones. So here we go. We are now into legendary color runes anyway. They have the same amount of attributes as the previous set. So the yellow ones, they had 3 different magic attributes here. Let me see. 6%. The yellow ones were 6% base attribute increase. Okay, that's damage and life depending on which piece you put them in. Now this one here, we got 1, 2, 3. So they had 3 magic attributes in the yellows. Okay, so we still have only 3 magic attributes in these new ones coming out. However, the biggest difference is, of course, they are incrementally increasing with everything else. So instead of 6%, we are now moving up to 8% increased base attribute, depending on which piece you put in. This one here, the Laz. Let's just go down the line here. Stun resist increased by 4%. Continual damage taken decreased by 4%. And you gain a shield equal to 20% of your maximum life for 5 seconds when falling below 10% life. Oh boy. Cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds though. So there's that. Thankfully. I'd say thankfully because there's a lot of shield stacking already going on when it comes to PvP. A lot. For a particular couple classes. I think I'm not sure if Demon Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, or just kind of put that in the comments please. About Demon Hunter, the escape dashes and the one build that they can use, I'm not sure if those shields stack or not, if it's just one time. Or if it's like in the case of Tempest, their dash, they can shield if they're wearing that particular breaker essence and skill. You can dash and give yourself a shield, dash and give yourself a shield again, and dash and give yourself a shield again. So yeah, this one here is a rune, and it's only in the legs, so it's only one rune that you can wear for this one. But yeah, that's a very interesting piece. It does look obviously very tasty for all of us, actually. So yeah. Now these are obviously going to be strifed because it's a kind of a you're putting in your legendaries, so they're going to be affected by that as far as PvP goes. So there will be, there will be a slight reduction, but still, nonetheless, something's more than nothing. So there you go. That's the Laz rune. Move on to the next one. Rune is 8%, of course, attribute increase. This is on the offhand, so this one you can have 2 of them at any given time if you're fortunate and lucky enough to get these things. Yeah, with the way my luck's been with this, it's been absolutely atrocious in acquiring these, and I'm lucky if I'll even see one of these. But let's scroll down a little bit further here. As you can see, more runes will be available in 56 days. So this is the largest gap I think we've had yet in between, but we are still getting more runes. So that leaves speculation now. If these are orange legendary, are we going by the way of fish? Okay, the logic of the fish. The fish have, blue, yellow, orange, and purple. The mythic legend, above the legendary fish. So are we getting mythic runes? That's the only thing I can think of, that we might be getting purple runes coming up next. And with this large of a gap in time before we will even see those, it's going to obviously help because we all need to catch up on this, of course, and those people that really need the platinum are just about ready to, if you are so lucky as to get these, I'd honestly hold on to them and use them for yourselves, because it's impossible to get these practically. For in my case, I'm definitely holding on to these. If I get one, I'm holding on to it with both hands. But yeah, I think we might be getting mythic runes. I think we might actually be getting mythic runes. That's speculation on my part, but I feel like we might be getting mythic runes. I'll have to dig up some of the old pictures if I can find them from the old shots they had showing people in the leaked images they had of rune bags, and I think there was more to it than this. So we might be getting purple runes. But anyway, that's just currently speculation on my part, so take that for what you will. Considering how long it's going to be until we get another set of runes. However, we are still getting more runes. So, there you go. They're probably just going to keep going up. If anything, they might go to 10% base attribute increase. And at that point, I feel like that's probably going to be the cap. So, anyway, the Zell rune here does damage to elites increased by 4%. Damage to full life enemies increased by 5% as well. That seems to be the benchmark. And they're not going to go above 5% on that one, which is fine. I mean, that's a nice one still to have nonetheless. And critical hit chance increased by 4%. So you can put this on both of your offhands if you are lucky to get 2 of them. That's very, very, very nice. All stats considered. All these stats are good on these runes. They're obviously, because we've reached that point where it's definitely, these are all upgrades no matter what. Very tasty, very nice. The next one, the 5th rune. Base attribute of increased by 8%, of course. That's standard now for these ones. Damage taken while suffering loss of control increased by 4%. Or decreased by 4%. Block chance increased by 2%. Loss of control durations on affected enemies are increased by 16% when you critically hit them. This is a new attribute I don't think I've seen yet myself on any piece of gear anywhere before. This is a very interesting one. Quite interesting. Now, it's probably going to be strifed, like I said, in PvP, which is fine. This one's definitely, but it's still more than nothing. I've never seen this attribute before, so this is a very interesting one to say the least. Yeah. And that one's on the chest piece, so you only get 1 of these. But still, nonetheless, that's quite interesting. And again, I've never seen this before, I don't think. So, looking kind of forward to picking one of those up and doing something with it, obviously. Oh boy, oh boy. On the next one, we've got Oath. The damage taken while moving decreased by 3%. Attack speed increased by 2%. There we are again. And skill cooldowns reduced by 4%. Very nice, very nice. This is on the head and shoulders, so you can get 2 of these and stack them up. Very, very good. Again, if you're lucky to get that many right away. And now onto the Lev rune. Damage increased 4% to enemies below 30% life. That's kind of worded a little rough, but get the idea. Primary attacks have a 6% chance to reduce enemy attack and movement speeds by 20% for 3 seconds. And critical hit damage. Here's the critical hit damage on these ones. Increased by 6%. And these go on the main hand. So your offhands are going to be running the critical hit chance, and your main hands will be running the critical hit damage. Again, with the runes, it's so nice because it kind of takes the edge off of people who are trying to get those min-maxing farming of legendaries out there that are still doing it. We change legendaries so often, and they've added so many different attributes to them now at random that I don't try that hard anymore. There are still some out there that will still go for the, crit hit, crit damage on all their pieces of legendary gear for their attributes if they can get them to roll that way. And for those that farm that crazily, hats off to you. Different strokes for different folks, that kind of thing. Good on you for going that hard in the paint for that kind of stuff, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm not going to stress about it. These definitely take the edge off for that, though, because they make up for a lot of it. These ones right here, like I said, the main hands and the offhands will give you the critical hit and critical hit chance. Damage and chance on both, respectively. So, there you go. That's the runes. That's the coverage of the new ones that we are getting, or we have gotten for the start of this week to try to acquire anyway. Accursed Tower is still the best way to go, for the last I've checked and last I've heard. And also, recently there was some rumor mill about certain time windows, of course, as there was for the familiar pets. The pet contracts, there was a certain time window best to get those to be farmed, found by VK. That did the work on that one. Now somebody supposedly put out, I think there was a Reddit post. I don't have it to pull up, unfortunately, sorry, but I'll just give you the quick summary here at the end. I think they said from I think it's the top of the hour to about 20 minutes in, it's all the elite packs in the towers that you can take out during that time frame when you run the Accursed Towers. So it's a 20-minute window, which is very nice. There's a slight increase, they said, to rune drops. Then the 20-minute mark to the 40-minute mark of the hour is, I guess, the most optimal time range to be running around in the Accursed Towers. Take it for what you will. I haven't tested it myself, and that's going to be very, very difficult to even test because the rune drop rates, we don't even know what that is, how low of a percentage that is on all of this at this point. And it's very, very, very in the range, out there of pure speculation. But take it for what you will. Like I said, if you want to test it out and try for yourselves, obviously that kind of gives more of a means to aim for, I guess. So I'd basically say 20 minutes in of the hour to the 40-minute mark of the hour is the best time, I guess, from what they're saying, to go in there and try to get best possible chance of getting runes. But I don't know. My luck is terrible, so if I tried to test that out, it really wouldn't be bearing much fruit in my case. But hey, I'll take what I can get at this point as far as that goes. So there you go. That little tidbit of information I wanted to put out at the end. Again, like I said, take it for what you will. If you want to go for it, be my guest. What is this? I just noticed this in the top corner here. The timer. The server will be temporarily unavailable for maintenance on 8/21. Why are they putting this up so early? I mean, they've done this in the past before. This is crazy, though, seeing that number. And hours. And minutes and seconds, obviously. That's nuts. Anyway, all right, I'm just rambling on now. Anyway, take care, everybody. Stay safe out there in the real world on fire, as always. Stay safe as best you can. Take things one day at a time. It's the best we can do. Until next time, see ya.